Alright, if you are following this, then make sure to check out Lambdog76's response to the last video. Make some good points about what was given up by a lot of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Today I want to talk about the Treaty of Paris. This is kind of the next thing that we need to talk about real fast before we get to the Articles of Confederation. The Treaty of Paris in 1783, negotiations for it kind of began in 1782, where there was a call to the cease to hostilities. And so what the reason why it was in Paris is that it was essentially kind of neutral ground to sign a treaty. So the introduction of the Treaty of Paris, it's really short actually, so you can download it and read the whole. I read the whole thing in just a few minutes. It's 2.5 printed pages. So basically, the introduction is the biggest part, where the king, like, you got to hear this. This is his title, the king. The most serene and most potent Prince George III, by the grace of God, of the King of Britain, France, Ireland, Defender of the Faith, Duke of Brunswick, Luneburg, Arch-Treasurer and Prince-Elector of the Holy Roman Empire, etc. That's awesome. I wish I had a title like that. So anyway, the first part is basically an introduction of who the parties are, and what is being, that there's a peace being proposed, and just kind of talking about the different people in the different individual states. Then there's 10 articles. The first one being the most important one, which was the King of England acknowledges the said states, United States, New Hampshire, Massachusetts Bay, Rhode Island, Providence Plantations, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia to be free, sovereign, and independent states, that he will treat them as such, and as for himself, his heirs and successors, relinquishes all claims to government, property, and territorial rights of the same and every part thereof. That is the most important thing, because of the government in which we set up under the Articles of Confederation after this, but this was one of the only examples in history, or one of the few examples in history, where the individual person, the individual, was made a sovereign over himself. Perfect sovereignty. That's pretty incredible and noteworthy to take a look at here. Then the next part, Article 2, is the disputes. It describes the boundaries of America, so that there won't be any disputes, and basically it doubles the size of America. Article 3 is acknowledging the rights of America to fish off the banks, the Grand Bank, the banks of Newfoundland, the Gulf Strait of Lawrence, and other places in the sea, blah 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 blah. It's basically all about fishing rights. Article 4 was to agree that the creditors from either side would still be able to honor bona fide debts. I mean, their bona fide debts would be honored. Um, Article 5 was supposed to be basically everybody giving each other's crap back to each other. Um, but that wasn't necessarily agreed upon all the time. It had to do with property and slaves and stuff. So like when England left, um, they still had troops in America when we won, or when we there was a cease to hostilities. There were still troops there, and there was still a lot of the crown's property there, and so this was supposed to be returned. What happened was, um, oh wait, what am I doing here? I might have mixed this up. No, that's part of it, and then Article 6 is part of another thing. Is what I'm talking about, which is um, that the prisoners will be set free. You know, prisoners of war, all that, and then it was a returning of war stuff. So the a lot of the states, because these were individual states, they just confiscated what was left as repayment to be able to help repay their debt, um, their war debt. So that was under this treaty. We was actually supposed to be giving that back to the crown, but that didn't really happen. Then the Article 8 is another important one because it gives Great Britain and the States United um, free free and open navigation of the Mississippi River, which there was actually during after that there was actually a dispute with Spain over that, but that's a different story. Article 9. Um, the that was if there was any hostilities still happening after this was made, where the United States was capturing British territory in, say, Canada, which Britain still owned at the time, it would be returned without any compensation to those that had taken it. So there was that was just basically saying, all right, from here on out, this is basically the point where it's done. And then it was Article 10 basically says that they're putting their seals on it, and that it'll be ratified 6 months from the point where they had done this. So the Treaty of Paris, it's a very interesting document. It has been said that the that Britain was quite generous with the treaty, um, and they were. Um, the interesting thing that to be noted though was that it was the as Lambdog kind of talked about a little bit, was that it was one of the first establishments of essentially a peasant nation, or a nation of sovereign individuals. So very interesting uh, thing is to understand that at the time it would be like if your town came to you and said, you know, you're completely free of all laws. There's no laws governing you at all. You know, that's amazing. It would be like I'm gonna go outside and build a 15-story chicken coop, you know, or whatever. There's no laws, and so um, perfect sovereignty was established. So the first thing that they did after this was to sit down and put into place the Articles of Confederation. So let's get into that next.